I want to thank God for this recognition as the United Nations Person of the Year 2019 in Kenya. It's quite a great honor and a privilege to be given this recognition. And I believe it's not just only for me, but it identifies the great work that other people in the society do. So it's just like a representation of what the great work they are doing in the society, and therefore I feel like it's a great honor for me, and therefore I thank everyone, especially my students, who have achieved so much that have also made it possible for me to get this recognition. I also want to thank my fellow teachers who are working so hard and ensuring that we work as a team in order to achieve all of this success. This recognition is unique in the sense that I've received it here in our country. I can say that I've received several awards, but this one is unique in the sense that it's talking about the United Nations, and therefore it's showing that the unity of people, the unity of nations, and to me it's quite a very it's a great recognition that recognize what I do and what also other people do in the society. I know that there are so many other people out there working hard, and they also deserve the same recognition. And when it comes to me, therefore I feel like I'm representing what the great work they are doing. And this will be used to address so many challenges.
Very much. I believe it's very important to situate ways in which we can really achieve the SDGs. And the gateway to the SDGs is education. Education is the equalizer. And if really through education we will be able to touch lives, it's better to really ensure that the profile of the teacher, the profession of the teaching profession gets its recognition. And having been recognized at the global level, having been recognized at the level of the United Nations, and having been accepted as a true representation of what the teacher should be by the nominations, the invitations, we felt the UN must use this as an opportunity to showcase how through education all the other SDGs can be attained. From what has been demonstrated, it's quite clear that as a teacher, he's been able to look at the issue of leaving no one behind, giving the choice of location where he teaches. As a teacher, he's been able to link science, technology, and innovation as crucial in making a difference. As a teacher, he's also been inclusive enough of the other gender and demonstrating that regardless of location, regardless of the gender, we can be able to make a difference. He has also been able to really represent what UNESCO stands for, as has been read out in the Charter. Since it's in the minds of men and women that war begins, it is in the minds of men and women that the defenses of peace should really be established. And Peter has been able to, through the diverse group in the school, build a peace club. Moving away from the classroom, he's gone further to show that through the teacher, the issue of poverty reduction, food sufficiency can be attained. So for me, I see him as somebody who embraces the P's, that's the people skills, is able to really also look at the environment and the planet through what we can do in a very arid environment to be able to satisfy the food sufficiency needs of the community. He's also been able to demonstrate that through the teacher, we can also begin to build that new realization of what is possible in Africa. So Africa has always lagged behind, and we want to jump on the opportunity in the UN to say that, well, if we are to ensure that no one is left behind, let's look at the champions and really let's showcase their successes. And for me, this was the reason why I had said it's just the perfect timing to really reposition, reprofile the teaching profession through Peter. However, as I've announced, I'm going to really, because right now it's UNESCO that is the chair of the partners group in education. We're going to really use it with the ministry to begin to organize conferences, teachers' conferences, where Peter could really serve as the person, the recognized teacher to share best practices, to really motivate other teachers. And I believe it's possible. I've already signaled that to the peers.
This is a very significant selection. It represents what the UN family in Kenya really believes as real talent that this country projects. Every 24th of October is the UN Day. It's the day when the UN was born. It also shows how individuals are forming and framing the spirit of multilateralism. The fact that Peter has just not been recognized globally, but also by the entire United Nations family of so many member states is an acknowledgement of what he has achieved. But he also represents what Kenya is achieving as a nation state, a beacon of hope in a place of great fragility at a time when we need much more peace and much more education and much more opportunity. We have close to 10 to 12 million Kenyan Africans who are looking for work. What we now need to do is make sure that SDG 4 succeeds, make sure education and skills succeed. Peter Tabichi is a champion of that. He's a microcosm of what we are capable of achieving through the force of teachers, through the force of good, and through the force of human development. From now all the way into the future, because he is now an inspiration to countless other teachers in the country who would want to aspire to be like him. We need to get his voice out. We need to make sure that today he spoke about gender, he spoke about girls' education, which is going to be crucial if we want to see progress not just in Kenya, but all over Africa. The fact that girls are doing STEM, science, technology, education, engineering and math is a representation of the untapped potential of women and girls. And I think Peter has acknowledged today that amongst his students, these girls are doing amazing things. So what we need him to also do is be a voice for us on the girls' education front, because that is one place girls continue to be left behind. So, UNESCO and UNICEF have major programs on education throughout. So what we want to do is use him as a champion to advance that kind of technology and science that we need, particularly to embrace the new realities of the new economies that are coming into place.